Oh no! It's matinee prices. That's what it is. Ah! Yeah, that's right. You've made a wrong turn. You made a right turn in Albuquerque and landed on matinee prices. You did not pass go. You did not collect $200. You're here with us.
This is matinee prices.
This is matinee prices.
This is part 2.
This is Raleigh.
Hi. Oh, I'm Cameron. Raleigh. Uhuru. We're some of the last remaining remnants of VizArt video. Well, it's gone, but we were there at the end. We were the lucky few that was with us. That was at VizArt till the very end, and saw it go up in flames.
And now we do this,
figuratively,
because we have no lives.
But this is what we this is what we did at VizArt, so we're still doing it. And
Raleigh has a life, but we don't.
What we did at VizArt was we're all passionate about movies, and we like recommending cool movies. There's a movie nerd, any kind of nerd, comic book, music, books, movies. There's nothing better than turning someone on to something they've never seen or heard of, and then when they come back, they're like, "This was so good. What else you got?" You know, that connection that you can make through whatever
even film festivals.
Your thing is.
We turn people on to film festivals. I turn these guys on to
the
our own local film festival that's been going on for the past decade. That was like a block away from them that they never went to,
just
even though they're super
the other day.
I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm just saying.
Saw some great movies, and I want to give a little shout out to the documentary Vinyl Dinosaurs. That was probably my favorite one that I saw.
We're gonna do another. We're gonna do a CFF show.
Vinyl Dinosaurs.
Yeah,
if you can find it, check it out.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But this is.
I just cussed.
You did.
Yeah.
You cursed it. Usually it's me.
I cursed it.
Usually it's me.
Usually it's him.
This is part 2 of our zombie episode. Last week we talked about Fido and Pontypool.
You just flip them off.
It was 2.
That was the British. That's British.
Oh no Brits are watching this thing.
Dude, we're huge in England. You don't even know, man.
You're right.
You don't even know.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be for 2. How's this one? Is that okay?
That's just an 11.
That's fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, now it's 11.
It's part 11. Whatever. You're ruining the show. Just quit with your hands.
I'll stop with the hands. All right. So
part 2.
Part 2. We're doing. I won't speak till I'm spoken to.
We're talking about zombie movies, but you've seen Shaun of the Dead, you've seen 28 Days Later, you've seen everything Romero ever did. Maybe you haven't seen Diary of the Dead.
You better.
Or what was the other one? Diary of the Dead.
Don't worry about Island.
Island of the Dead. Yeah.
Land.
That was awesome. That was one with Dennis Hopper and John Leguizamo. These are all movies you've heard of and have seen a million times. They play on cable. I guarantee you 28 Days Later or Shaun of the Dead is playing on cable right now. But and nothing against, I love both of those movies, but you know those movies. So we're gonna teach you. We're gonna school you on 2 zombie. I'm doing air quotes because these aren't your typical zombie movies. The first one the first one is, the second one not so much. So we're gonna start with the movie Maggie.
Okay.
Maggie was made in 2015. It stars Abigail Breslin, Jolie Richardson, and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Small, like little known star. He might be big.
That kid's going places.
He might make something of himself.
You might remember from the '80s. He was in a film called Twins.
He was in Junior, Twins, Kindergarten Cop. I'm surprised he doesn't do more action movies.
He should do more action movies.
He seems to be a comedian.
He's fit. He should do more action.
He's got, looks like he works out. This movie was directed by Henry Hobson. This was his first film.
Henry Hobson.
And it was directed by Henry Hobson. It was his first film. Written by John Scott, who that was his first film as well. So we got some novice filmmakers making this low-budget zombie film, and this movie is so good. It was filmed on location in New Orleans, Louisiana, and you've never seen Arnold Schwarzenegger like this.
No, you
like I can honestly say I'm not gonna. This isn't Schwarzenegger's best movie, but it's the best he's ever been in a movie.
Yeah,
because he's not just saying one-liners and shooting people. Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger does some acting in this movie. It's basically, there's an infectious disease outbreak that turns people into zombies, but whereas in your typical zombie movie, you get bitten within an hour, 5, 6, 7 hours, you're dead.
Right.
In Maggie, it can take days for the infection to like completely take over and kill you.
It seems like it could take over a month, months and...
It was very realistic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And society hasn't completely collapsed because it's somewhat manageable.
Yeah.
They've got quarantine zones set up where if someone's infected, they take them to a quarantine zone. You can agree to stay in quarantine until you turn, or you can volunteer to be put down. So it's not like The Walking Dead is just... You get a little bit of that, like with the coming out of the woods.
Yeah,
and
a little bit.
But it's not like 28 Days Later or Dawn of the Dead, where the zombies have just completely taken over. Yeah. Society still exists. There's still government. There's still hospitals that you can take people to. So it's like it's wiping out a big chunk of the population, but it's manageable.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Black Plague. Like it didn't it took out a big chunk of Europe.
I call it the White Plague.
The White Plague.
Yeah.
The Caucasian Plague.
Caucasian Plague.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't Europe.
It's Cracker Plague.
Cracker Plague. Whatever.
Yeah. That's they don't have to agree with me on this. This is for me.
I think that shit's hilarious. Like I said, Maggie is Arnold Schwarzenegger as you've never seen him before.
He did like what was it End of Days, where he was sort of battling a demon
with Gabriel Byrne.
And that was like him, and that's been a while ago.
Kinda, but he was still action man though.
He was still Jack Slater in that for sure.
No, because it wasn't a lot of action. He had to. It was one of the things where like, all right, look, Arnold, you can't. We're not shooting guns blazing all the time. Da da da.
Then explain to me why, when push came to shove and he had to take on the devil, he got a shit ton of machine guns.
Didn't he throw himself on a sword at the end?
That was the exact last scene of the film.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but at the same time. And you can see, like he's trying. He didn't succeed.
That's a little bit.
Yeah,
okay.
And that was like what 20 years ago or something like that. But anyway, in this one, he succeeded.
Yeah,
he succeeded in this one
because he's a farmer. He's a father. He's just they keep him covered. It's kind of like when The Rock did that movie Snitch.
Yep.
He's wearing flannel, bulky clothes, so you're not seeing that he's Arnold.
Yeah. You know he's big because you know Arnold. But that's not the point of the movie. He's not flexing.
And you know when he talks, you're just like, well, why is this Midwestern farmer from Hungary or what?
Yeah.
It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger has been living in America since the 70s. That accent ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So you just gotta have to get used to it.
And it's America.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, the melting pot. So he's an immigrant, and he came over, and he married a woman. They have a farm. They have a daughter together. This movie is good, but and I would say like it's kind of a revelation for Arnold Schwarzenegger because you don't expect him to be like this kind of character. This isn't an action movie. This isn't an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. This is Arnold Schwarzenegger playing a concerned father. His daughter has this disease. He makes some sort of deal with the sheriff because they seem to have some sort of relationship where the sheriff is like, all right, you keep her on the farm, but when the time comes, you have to deal with it.
Right.
And so it's basically the story of a father watching his daughter slowly die.
Yeah.
Like because there's no cure, there's not gonna be some happy ending where they discover some miracle breakthrough. Like he's watching his daughter slowly die. She's aware of the fact that she's dying. There's that scene where she goes to hang out with her friends for the last time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But
here's what I noticed. This is how good the movie is. I'm already comparing it to other movies. In other words, we've all seen, I think it was you I was talking about, the trailer for the new Wolverine the Logan movie. And we were describing it as like the way they put the kid in there, well, like it's kind of Maggie-esque.
A little bit, yeah.
Because that's how good, like you can now compare this. I'm like, oh, you took a little bit from Maggie, this Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he did an excellent job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger because, like I said, this is completely different for him, but this is Abigail Breslin's movie.
Oh yeah.
She, you know her from Little Miss Sunshine and Zombieland.
Yeah.
Abigail Breslin, she's an Academy Award nominee. She's a fine young actress. she is so good in this movie. Like we're saying, the scene where she hangs out with her friends for the last time, she's fully aware of the fact that she's dying. She's trying to stave off the infection. Like there are scenes where she's overcome, like, because basically you're becoming a zombie, so you're gonna crave human flesh. So you can see her like fighting it and having these moments where you're like, oh, she's about to eat her mom, you know, and stuff like that. And then you see her like trying to deal with it and keep everything under control. So it's a movie where you're watching a teenage girl die, and you're seeing it through the eyes of her father, who, you know, it's a father's job to keep their kid safe and protected. And
we've probably told you too much.
He knows he can't do anything about it, so all he can do is watch it happen and try to make her last few days as bearable as possible. And then there's the thing with his wife, where she's afraid to be in the house with her.
We're still telling you too much.
Yeah.
But then the cure is found,
yeah,
and then like Arnold has to like battle aliens, and these robots come from the future. And
Sylvester Stallone comes in the third act with a miracle cure, and
must he?
And
can it be Bruce Willis?
And then it becomes Expendables Part 5.
All right, so Maggie, it's really well done. I can't believe it was this guy's first film.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's really amazing. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger seems like a human being in this movie.
He's vulnerable.
It's amazing.
He's a concerned father.
Yeah, I mean, he's just your average run-of-the-mill, gigantic Austrian rural farmer.
Midwestern corn farmer.
So, you know, and he pulls it off. It's very good. It kind of looks like The Road. It's very desaturated.
It's got that gray color palette that's just beautiful.
And, you know, it kind of fits the film. I like that about it.
Yeah.
You know, as far as... you can edit out these ads for me. But it's not your average zombie movie at all. It plays out more like she's dying of like a degenerative disease, like cancer, or it plays that angle of it. You really don't get a lot of like the
Walking Dead.
Yeah, it's not The Walking Dead.
You get enough of it to where it's established that there's this. Okay, this is what happens when it's not put in check, and when someone doesn't go into quarantine. But it's not like they're roaming the streets.
Exactly, and it's heart-wrenching in scenes, and I'm stuttering here. I felt completely emotionally spent when the movie was over. It was it's immersive, and you really care about the characters, and kudos to Arnold Schwarzenegger for finally learning how to act like a person.
I always give a big props to when actors step out of their comfort zone. Seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger do this is kind of like when like seeing Robin Williams do Dead Poet Society, or seeing Jim Carrey do Man on the Moon. It's like when an actor is known for this one thing, and then he's like, I want to take a risk. I want to try something different.
I want to grow a little bit.
Throw my audience for a loop. So if you're expecting an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, this isn't going to be that. If you're expecting a typical like Dawn of the Dead, 28 Days Later type zombie movie, this isn't it. We're not trying to sell it as that. This is a really good, well-written, well-acted, beautifully shot movie about a girl who's dying.
You could make the case this is a good date movie. Like, this is a good movie to watch with someone.
It would definitely.
It's emotional,
and you're gonna want to talk. You're gonna want to talk afterwards.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
I'd say that would be a good transition because our next movie is very similar.
It is.
Maybe even more so.
Okay.
Carriers.
Oh right, yeah.
Well, there aren't any zombies. But
Carriers is from 2009, and this isn't a zombie movie. It's an infection movie. This it's
starring Chris Evans,
Chris Pine from the new Star Trek movies, Piper Perabo from Looper, and Coyote Ugly, and The Prestige, and the awesome, always reliable Christopher Maloney from Law and Order SVU, True Blood, and Wet Hot American Summer, and a personal favorite of mine, Gym Teacher, the movie. And
Harold and Kumar.
And Harold and Kumar. Yeah. And it also stars Lou Taylor Pucci from the new Evil Dead, and the awesome indie comedy Thumbsucker.
All right,
from
tell me about it.
So, Carriers, first off, this isn't a movie you're going to want to rewatch. It's like Requiem for... No one has ever said, oh man, I have to watch Requiem for a Dream again. No one has ever said that. Doesn't take away from the fact that it's an amazing movie. It's just, it's such an emotional gut punch that once you see it, you can't go back to it. Carriers is kind of like that. In Carriers, there's a disease that has wiped out most of the population. It doesn't turn you into zombies. You just get sick from it and you die. And it's highly contagious. Much like in Cabin Fever, except Carriers is not played for laughs. There's no comedy in the Carriers. This is about as realistic a movie as you could get within this genre. It's basically like it's a small group of survivors. None of them have the infection, and they're doing anything they can to make sure that they don't come across anyone who is infected. They just want to stay healthy. They're trying to get to the west coast where they've heard there's like a sanctuary where the infection hasn't reached yet.
Right.
And so it's that paranoia. They're constantly checking each other for sores and lesions to make sure that no one's been infected. And much like in Cabin Fever, it's that thing where it's like you could be someone's sister or husband or wife or best friend. The second you're infected,
you gotta cut them loose.
They have to leave you behind because it's that contagious. So you see, like, you know, people, loved ones, like crying, like, don't leave me, but like they have to. And it's,
or even the opposite.
Yeah,
like, you gotta go. You gotta leave me behind, sort of thing.
It is an emotional roller coaster. This movie will make you feel. I would also compare this movie to The Road, in that it's just so dramatic and intense and real, and it's about the relationship of this small group of people. And then along the way, they pick up the Christopher Maloney character with his daughter. That scene with his daughter. Yeah. Oh my God! Yeah. This movie will make you cry. It's like
I didn't cry, but it tried to make me.
Or it'll trigger that part in your. It elicits that response. It's like, imagine the ending of Old Yeller, cranked to 11 and shown on a loop.
Oh,
like, so I don't want anyone. I'm not trying to sell this as a zombie. Like, this is a movie that you have to be in the specific mood for. This isn't a movie that's going to appeal to everyone.
But we still recommend it.
Wonderfully acted. We're recommending. Yeah, if you're a fan of the, we want you to know what you're in for. Yeah. Going into this, so a little bit the concept of Cabin Fever with the bleak helplessness of The Road. Yeah. And it is so good. It was directed by these two. It was written and directed by these two brothers from Barcelona, Spain, named David and Alex Pastor. They also wrote. They wrote the screenplay for that Ryan Reynolds, Ben Kingsley movie Selfless. Oh. And they have a new show called Incorporated that will be airing soon. Wonderful cast. It's really well shot. Didn't have a huge budget. Not a lot of special effects. Very small, isolated cast. What?
20 seconds.
20 seconds.
Yeah. Wrap it up.
The next movie we're doing is called 20 Seconds?
No.
Is that the sequel to 8 seconds?
You're going to wrap it up now. 15 seconds.
14?
Yep.
13?
Yeah.
So I could do this all day.
You can. Well, you can, but we don't have that much time. You can do it on your own time.
Okay.
But like, so
watch Carriers.
Watch Carriers.
Watch Carriers.
It is heartbreaking and amazing and wonderful. And I think it was made just before the first Star Trek. So it's Chris Pine, like right before he was becoming a big star. Yeah. And Christopher Maloney, like fantastic actor. It is. I can't say enough good things about this movie. Please check it out. The Carriers. It'll break your heart. And
your ankle.
And your ankle.
It's got a killer crossover.
Brain. But it is wonderful. And I highly recommend it. Please check out The Carriers. So, what we got now?
Greats. You're going to introduce greats.
Greats! As I said before.
That he invented.
This is yes, I invented this because I'm incredibly clever and brilliant. We don't do top 10s, we do greats.
Did Raleigh give you the idea for greats?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't take credit.
I don't know where my ideas come from. We don't do top 10 lists because when you do a top 10 list, you're saying this is the definitive top 10. These are the 10 best, blah, blah, blah. And then someone is going to call you on it and be like, oh, but you left off this. And you're like, yeah, you're right. I did leave off that.
Actually, Raleigh does do that. He does that a lot.
So we're not saying these are the top 8. We're saying these are just 8 great things. And the topic for this category, because oh nice. The topic for this one is because
Yes.
we should. Oh my God! Yes. So we might have to call this one Greats Plus One.
Grinds.
It's 8. It was 8, and then they busted out this one, which we're going to get into. So now it's the 9 zombie-esque movies, not 100% traditional zombie movies, but they kind of fit the bill.
So I'm gonna start. So
you got your list?
Keeping with the Spanish filmmakers that he was talking about just a moment ago. A while back, Laura Lindsay, another VisArt person of ours, graduate, we got together and decided to watch Rec. R-E-C, if you record, you know, symbol on your cameras or whatever. And actually, it wasn't even that. It was Quarantine. That's what we watched. And we watched it, and it's one of those infection people's type stuff. So
it's also the first person kind of
first person, one of those found footage.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people are like kind of down on. Like, I don't like the found footage. It's like, this would be the best of.
And it was made
style.
in, what, 2008?
It was made in 2008.
So before everyone was doing that.
Really, so it was and it was really one of the best stuff. So this would be like the reason everyone started doing it, sort of thing. Because they started out, oh, these guys did it, and it was awesome. So we're talking about, it did pretty well. It cost $12 million, made $31 in the U.S., and not as much everywhere else. And the reason is, we discovered after we watched the film, and we were like, that was fantastic.
Version.
And then we looked through, you know, like the trailers, and Rec. What is Rec? And it's the same movie, nearly shot for shot,
just
scene for scene. But we decided, because we like Quarantine so much, or like, well, now we know it's the original, and this is what we do at VisArt. You know, I'm like, we can hit it out. So got that one, and it is exactly the same, with like one twist, and that twist was perfect. The way they did it for, and this is a Spanish film, it's Spain, the way they did it for theirs was perfect Spanish-wise, and then the way the Americans remade it was perfect
for the American
version. So I would actually recommend to you, watch both. Yeah. Especially if you have, you know, bilingual friends, maybe, you know, like you want to watch some foreign films, like watch this. So Quarantine was 2008, Rec was 2007. They've both had sequels since then. Quarantines was crap. Just don't even worry about those. The Rec one was a step down, but still okay.
Still good.
But then after that, then like don't worry about those two. But definitely Quarantine. We're talking like let's see, what do I have here? John Eric Dowdle directed Quarantine. Had Steve Harris, if you remember from Eugene from The Practice. He's also in Friday Night Lights. Jennifer Carpenter was in Dexter and Limitless TV series.
And Jonathan Schaech from That Thing You Do.
You probably wouldn't know director Juan Balaguerro and Paco Plaza were the original directors for the original film Record or Rec. And it would cost $1.5 million, but made $32 million.
Pretty good.
That's shabby.
Yeah, that's worldwide. And this is what I would assume. Quarantine. This is when they actually called it right. And we're like, well, we can make that and and they made $31 million here in the U.S. But it didn't do as well overseas,
right?
Because there was already Rec, you know, and that made sense. It still made like almost $1 million.
All right. So information. Quarantine
and Rec.
And if you want to see it with you know, subtitles and bullfighting and flamenco dancing,
yes,
Rec.
Yes,
right? Yeah. There you go.
Good.
Okay. We're gonna kind of burn through these. Cabin Fever from 2002, Still Eli Roth's best movie in my opinion. It starred if you're a fan of the show Boy Meets World, Ryder Strong is in this. He played Mr. Sean Hunter from Boy Meets World. This movie is awesome. It's a lot like Carriers. You get this disease. It's spread from the drinking water, and your skin falls off.
Huh.
It's very in the vein of early Peter Jackson movies. In fact, on the DVD box, there's a quote from Peter Jackson talking about how much he loved the movie.
Right.
Cabin Fever, 2002. So good. Gory, funny. It's awesome.
Say Dead Heat. Do Dead Heat now.
Dead Heat?
Dead Heat.
Talk about Dead Heat.
Alright, so Dead Heat is a buddy cop / zombie film starring Treat Williams and Joe Piscopo.
Yeah.
And also Vincent Price in a nice
little cameo,
supporting role
Yeah.
/ cameo. He's not in it much, but he's Vincent Price and he's in the film. So
Vincent Price, come on.
I mean, this has lots of action, machine guns, reanimated headless chickens, and a meat counter. I mean, you got to check it out. It's a super fun one.
Definitely.
It's a camp classic. It's a good guilty pleasure. Dead Heat.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. It's Joe Piscopo and Treat Williams. You can't get more cheesily macho than that. 2015, Cooties. We reviewed this in our first season. It's a perfect blending of slapstick comedy and over-the-top gore. It stars Jack McBrayer, Elijah Wood, Nassim Pedrad, and Rainn Wilson.
Cool.
It's awesome.
We reviewed it. Go.
Re-Animator, based on the H.P. Lovecraft story, stars Mr. Jeffrey Combs.
Who's that? Yeah,
Jeffrey freaking Combs is the man. This is from 1985. It is a great, great movie. If you like Evil Dead or anything Jeffrey Combs has done, please check out Re-Animator. They made 2 sequels. They're both awesome too. Paranorman, stop-motion animation from 2012, directed by Chris Butter and Sam Fell. It is awesome. If you enjoy the works of Leica Studios, they made Coraline, Box Trolls.
Coraline is so awesome.
The recent one they did, Kubo and the Two Strings. It is a great movie. Zombie Nightmare. Mystery Science Theater Zombie Nightmare. Don't just watch Zombie Nightmare because you'd be like, why do they recommend this? Find the Mystery Science Theater episode where they do Zombie Nightmare. It's available on DVD. It is awesome. Zombie Nightmare stars Adam West and a very young, undiscovered Tia Carrere. Original music by Motorhead. Just get the DVD from Mystery Science Theater and watch. Was it a Joel or a Mike? I think that was a Mike.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Just watch them rip that to shreds. It is amazing. One of my favorite Mystery Science Theater episodes ever. Zombie Nightmare from 1987. Now we're going to move on to Serpent and the Rainbow.
Ooh.
Directed by the great Wes Craven, starring the better than average Bill Pullman. Bill Pullman, always solid, always solid.
Yep.
It goes back to the original zombie mythos of kind of voodoo rituals, reanimating the dead. It is genuinely disturbing. There are some scenes that are straight up hard to watch. I'd say one of Wes Craven's least seen, underappreciated movies. The Believers from 1980, also from 87.
Yeah.
I think it was like a resurgence of like voodoo, raising the dead zombie movies from 87, 88.
Yeah.
Because the last 3 we did were all made in that little time period.
What year was Weekend at Bernie's?
89.
Dun, dun, dun.
Or 88.
Or that I guess that was Weekend at Bernie's too.
Believers stars Martin Sheen and Robert Loggia. Robert Loggia.
No time. Do it.
Again, that's the kind of voodoo, raising the dead kind of stuff. Genuinely creepy. Martin Sheen, reliable as always. Robert Loggia. It's a bunch of great character actors, which we love. And Believers, 1987. Very good, very underrated. So, since we're at Raleigh's place, we're going to do like we did last time. We're going to blindly grab a movie, and Raleigh is going to take a few seconds to tell us why you should watch it. I have started with A Christmas Carol, the one with Alistair Sim.
Alright, this is A Christmas Carol. It's the best adaptation of A Christmas Carol, in my opinion. It is a beautiful film. You should watch it every Christmas. I do.
And I've got In the Mouth of Madness.
John Carpenter, right?
Yeah, John Carpenter takes a swing at H.P. Lovecraft mythos, kind of indirectly. It's visually beautiful. The story is great, and I think you should watch it. It's a mindfuck kind of.
Isn't Charlton Heston in there too? Somebody's in there. Yeah, John Glover, Charlton Heston, Jurgen Prochnow.
Jurgen.
Written by Michael DeLuca, directed by John Carpenter. This is from 1994, 95. I've seen that movie. I love it. I'm a big fan of John Carpenter. We've raved about him in our Halloween episode. John Carpenter's the man.
Yay! I'll watch it.
Yeah.
He sold me.
And this is a little... I think it's one of those movies that people overlooked, or maybe forgot that John Carpenter directed it, or have just never seen.
Just took a nap.
But check it out. John Carpenter in the Mouth of Madness.
We're gonna sign off. This is Tia Carrera. This is Motorhead.
I'm Dana Carvey.
I'm Rec. You're watching Matinee Prices, and you know that's your fault for doing it. So you can't blame us.
Yeah. And I'm Academy Award nominee and winner F. Murray Abraham.
No, he's not.
No, I'm not.
No, he's not.
But God, I wish I was.
So I'd
get so many chicks if I was F. Murray
We're gonna
Abraham.
call it. Oh my God. Oh yeah. We'll probably cut it there. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, I'll see you.
It's the Baxter Show.
It's the Baxter Show.